So I bought this to haul my road bike and my mountain bike around because I figured I could move it along my bed rails in my Tacoma back and forth for different bikes, and then hold it nice and secure up along the side. But the problem I have is one of my bikes is a Canyon Aeroad, and the fork and the frame and everything is super like aerodynamic, and so it's kind of that airfoils type shape. It's not perfectly round, and this is made for like kind of an old school bicycle that has just like the perfectly round parts, where this will fit in there nicely and it'll protect it with this little rubber grommet. But the problem is mine are so flat, it ends up sitting kind of right up against it like this, right against these hard plastic pieces, and not what I want on my nice carbon fiber bikes. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna actually cut this part off, sand it down, and then add a whole bunch of this Scotch tape on there to kind of make a nice protector. And this stuff's really, really thick, so it'll leave a nice level of protection so I won't end up scratching up my carbon stuff. Now obviously with carbon you can't like clamp it down because that'll crush the carbon. It's really strong in certain directions, but crushing power is not very strong on carbon. And so, but this is perfect because it's not like a ratchet strap. It's just, you pull it snug and then leave it. You don't have to like crank it down as hard as you can. So here we go. Now my mountain bike's hung up on the rack, but you can see even with it how this doesn't really fit the shape very well. See how it hits the plastic and not the middle there? So even for my mountain bike on the round shock forks, this is too narrow. So I'm gonna end up cutting this for the mountain bike also. And it's even worse on the down tubes and the carbon parts. Here's what I mean on the carbon road bike. This is more of like a flattened tube versus a nice round tube, and so this just doesn't line up with it at all. And driving around on bumpy roads, this is just going to end up wearing into my carbon fiber on those strong plastic plates. And on the down tube, it's way worse. I mean, this is nice and flat, you know, aerodynamic shape, and this is not. So that's not going to line up right. Now, using a Dremel would probably be better on cutting this off, but I'm gonna do it really fast and do it with a pair of these. It'll be way quicker. So just go like this, and I'll just snip that right off there. That'll take that down, and then I'll sand it down so it's nice and smooth. Got all 4 of those cut off, so that's not gonna be near as sharp. And then I'm going to sand them down smooth, and then I'll add on the tape so that it'll make it nice and pretty. After just a little bit of sanding, got that nice and smooth. It still has a little indentation there, but now it doesn't have these sharp points coming off the front. That will just dig into my carbon fiber frame. So I'm just adding a little layer of tape there where I'm going to have the most pressure, and then wrapping it all the way around, avoiding the little mechanism so it can still latch down with the rubber strap. Now I got it all taped up, nice and padded on here. It's not going to cause any damage. What's nice about this stuff is it sticks to itself super well, so that's not going to come undone on me really fast. But the outside of it's not sticky at all, so it won't leave a bunch of adhesive crap all over my frame. What I like about this one is it latches right into the C channel on my Tacoma or any of these other trucks that have the same type of C channel, or this thing can move back and forth. I can do the same thing. I can loosen this up and then move it back and forth, so that way I can use it on different bikes. So like, for instance, my mountain bike might be in one spot, my road bike might be in another, but I don't have to buy separate racks. I can use the same rack. I don't know if I really need this piece right here since this is all plastic, but I put it on there anyway. Mostly it's this sucking up against the C-clamp area. So, alright, here's the modified fit of everything. I ended up having to raise this up, which then makes these little plates kind of useless for protecting your side beds, which doesn't really matter because this is the C channel type, not the other type. So it's locked in with a little plug inside there anyway. But I had to to like get it to line up right and to make this strap work, I had to go around this part of the frame, and it's just lightly on there. I mean, this thing can still kind of move a little bit, but then I had to go around the fork up on the front, just because the main part of the body where you're like on the normal geometry of like a cruiser bike, it would work great to have one on the down tube there, and one on the down tube and then one on the front part, and it just, this is too thick and I can't get it to wrap around it, so I had to use thinner spots. Now I still think, I mean, with my frame protection I have and then the tape I added to this, I don't think it'll mar it up or scratch it. Even on the inside, this rubbery substance is pretty soft, so I don't think it'll mess anything up on the shock or anywhere else. But I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, but I worry a little bit about it just because I don't want a $4,000 bike falling out of the back of my truck, especially since it's a shorter truck and I can't close the tailgate. All right, I think I finally got it adjusted right where I want it for today's cold morning ride. Nice on there. All right, that's pretty daggum stable. I'm pushing on it pretty good. It's not going anywhere. This I ended up raising up to get to the right level to get to this part of the frame, and then this goes around the fork perfect. So feels pretty sturdy, enough for me to trust a bike I definitely don't want to lose out of the back of this sucker. Now I've had the chance to use this rack about 4 times, including a longer, like 45-minute drive out to a state park to go mountain biking. It's working great. I mean, I had the tailgate down, drove up and down huge hills and down some dirt road action as well, and bike didn't go anywhere. Perfectly stable. My little modification's holding up great. Definitely can't even tell any marks on either of my bikes that I've put in the rack. So doing the job. I'm happy with it. I'm probably still gonna end up getting a tailgate pad, so that way I can haul like multiple mountain bikes in the back. But this is gonna be my go-to rack when it's just my bike in the back of here, whether it's my road bike or my mountain bike. And I can use it for my wife's bike, use it for kids' bikes, anything pretty much. So I like it. Just have to do the modifications to make it where it's perfect.